What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Same Difference podcast.
Is this thing on?
Hello.
Hello there. Happy Tuesday.
What's going on?
Oh, we're recording a day late because of me yet again.
And that's why we recording late today, because of Pascha, y'all. Because she been out of town. She been partying. Her Pascha usual.
Oh my goodness.
Her Pascha usual. That's what you do.
Hang my jersey in the rafters. Hang the party girl jersey up. We are retiring. This is my formal announcement of retirement. I am done.
Pascha has been saying this since she coined February dry.
No, I said I was going to stop drinking. I am retiring fully from my party girl era. She came to a close this weekend after my cousin's 21st birthday. I am fine stepping into my auntie era because I am exhausted. I just feel like my poor body. I've just been going so hard with work. I've been going hard with travel. I've been going hard socially. Like it's just we're in our restoration and relaxation era as well. I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to it. And I thought that going out with a bang, the way that I did for my retirement is my cousin turning 21, who's the baby in the family. It couldn't have been a more perfect occasion. So I'm very happy that this was my last hurrah on the streets. Very, very happy about that. Yeah, and you only need 3 days in Vegas. Anything longer is just egregious. My God. No. I am.
Tune in next week to figure out what Pascha does this weekend.
I've had enough. At
this point, our listeners already know what it is. They don't believe you, Pascha.
Don't want to see another airport. I don't want to see another airport for a while.
What's your next planned trip?
I will be in New York in June.
Okay, so you don't have nowhere to go the rest of May.
Right, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
So when you because I just want to make sure that I'm understanding you correctly. When you say you're hanging up your jersey, what does that mean?
I am not going outside to party.
Okay.
We are
Tuesday, May 9th, 8 just want to timestamp that.
I'm inside. I am in the house. I am at work. I am here at home working from home, and I'm at the gym. That is going to be my calendar of events for the next month. So yeah. We are, like I said, we're in our relaxation restoration era now because 2 whole weeks, I mean literally, I slept in my bed 2 nights out of 14 nights. Some bullshit, okay?
That's wild when you put it like that. That's wild.
Yeah, that's a long time to be away from home.
Yeah.
Like I came home and I'm like, damn, I don't really have I have no food. It's zero. Nothing.
I was yawning though because I'm tired of hearing this bullshit, but I'm gonna let you talk yourself up.
No, I'm home. We are grounded.
Girl.
We are grounded. I am. We like I said, we're putting my jersey in the rafters. Okay, we're done. We are done. Anyway, how was your weekend?
Baby, I had a time on Cinco de Mayo.
Man, Cinco de Mayo is our holiday now.
I don't even know what's, that's actually pretty sad. I sometimes be torn, like, are we misappropriating these people culture?
Because it was Cinco de Negro on my timeline. I mean, everybody was outside for Cinco de Mayo. Everybody.
I don't do some of the weird stuff that I think like Black folks be doing when they be like, "What's your Cinco de Mayo name?" It's like,
oh,
I'm not doing the sombrero, and I'm not doing all that. I'm just going to have a drink and a good time. My favorite Cinco de Mayo was 2018. I was living in here in Atlanta. and one of my good friend Kevon. We went out together, and we had a time in 2018. So this Cinco de Mayo, Kevon came back to town, and we decided we was going to do Cinco de Mayo together. And it's like I think we both felt like we were trying to outdo the 2018 Cinco de Mayo. And he told me this morning, like when we were texting, he was like, "Friend, I think this was better than 2018 because Cinco de Mayo was Friday. Yesterday and today, me and Kevon were still walking each other back through everything that went on Friday because neither one of us can remember everything.
Oh my God.
Even 2 videos that he sent me of me, I don't remember. But baby, we had the parts I remember, we had a time.
Ooh, what was y'all sipping on?
Let's see. We started at my house. We were sipping DeLeon tequila, which I love. It's actually, I'm not even a tequila girl, but if I drink tequila, please pass me the DeLeon. I don't like the gas station, the gasoline that people like, the Casamigos. That is gasoline. that should be banned.
Okay? Oh no.
DeLeon is so smooth. And I just get the regular white, clear DeLeon. I don't know nothing about the Mayho and the gold. No, I don't, just the regular. I'm telling you. So yeah, that was my Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, I really just kind of stayed in the bed the rest of the time. Just, I wasn't hungover. I just was like resting, recovering. And I did use that time to get on Netflix. Sorry to disappoint you, friend. I did not watch Love Is Blind.
Womp womp.
But I did start and finish Queen Charlotte, the Bridgerton spinoff. Shonda Rhimes does it again.
Okay, I'm excited to get into it again.
Good, friend.
I've only watched one episode.
It was like as good as the first season of Bridgerton. It was good.
Okay. I haven't even watched the second season of Bridgerton, but I did get into the first season. So
the second season is cool, but the first season was better.
Yeah, I was.
And this was up there with the first season, although it's not as long. It's only 6 episodes, and I don't know if it's only going to be 6 episodes, or if another couple episodes are going to come later, or if it's going to be season 2. I don't know, but it was great.
Okay. I'm excited.
So that's all I did this weekend. My brother's birthday was Friday as well. But we had celebrated, of course, the week before. That's pretty much it. I decided to, if it sounds like an echo, y'all forgive me. Over the weekend, I decided that I think I've told y'all this by now. I know I've talked about it on my TikTok, but I'm moving. Don't ask me where and don't ask me when. Because I don't have either of those specifications set in stone just yet. But you know what I decided is that even when I decide where I'm moving, I'm not going to tell anybody. Like I'll tell you, like I'll tell people close to me, but I'm not going to tell like the public. Not right away, at least. I don't know why. I just feel like I want to keep that to myself. But what I decided over the weekend, even though I am going to be moving, was that I wanted to finally get my office together and get this space together. So hopefully it should be like next Monday when we record, it'll look completely, totally different. Behind me, it's gonna be a very cute little vibe situation. And so even though I'm moving, the reason I kind of decided to just go ahead and do it, A, because it was supposed to be done a year and a half ago and I just didn't do it. And B, because I have been a lot more active on my TikTok and talking and needing to take pictures for the finished look. And I just need a space that motivates me to do so. Looks clean, looks nice, looks pretty. And yeah.
That dress you had on last week in our episode, is it sold out? Because I want one.
Which dress?
It was the black, and it had the stitching down the
middle. It is sold out.
Okay.
Sorry for men. But I love the way that thing fit me.
Yes.
It's a
like a glove.
It's cute. We remember I was down at your hotel and people was like stopping the car. Like,
you got that drip on, girl.
Yeah, the man riding up to me. You got that drip on. I'm like, nigga, I got on tennis shoes. What you talking about?
Yeah.
But I guess it was giving them something. Y'all got to make sure y'all watch on YouTube so you can see our faces and you understand when we had these pauses and then we start laughing what's going on.
Crack
But
me up.
yeah, that was
So
about it.
speaking of Vegas,
Mm-hmm. Because I was like, not y'all acting up with my friend in the city.
right, there was a ton going on this past weekend. As you said, it was Cinco de Mayo, but it was also the Lovers and Friends Festival. And if you are a fan of Chris Brown, you know that his birthday is what, May 2nd or May 5th. It's the first week of May, and
I think it's the fifth. I think it's the same day as my
it's
brother's.
well, he was in Vegas because he was performing, for the Lovers and Friends Festival, and apparently at a surprise birthday party thrown in his honor by
It's May
Usher.
his birthday is May 5th.
May 5th. Okay. So, Usher threw a skating party for him. Apparently, it was a surprise party, star studded. Obviously, it's Cinco de Mayo weekend. And then there's the festival. But, it's Usher and it's Chris Brown. And, despite what you may think about him publicly, he is still shown a lot of love. I especially appreciated this public gesture from Usher, because if you were to I don't want to do rankings. I hate that because people get all bent out of shape. But I think that for Usher to be an elder, if you will, or you know he was the predecessor before Chris Brown, the singing and the dancing ass nigga, um
Now you
just
talking about like from as far as from Michael Jackson.
I guess, yeah, you could say that. Like, yeah, there's Michael Jackson, and then he's the standard. But then, of course, you've got Usher, and then you have Chris Brown, and so Usher has, as of late, kind of been lifting up Chris Brown, and publicly speaking positively about him. I think the conversation was about verses and if he would ever do one. And he said, I don't know that we would ever do a verses, but if we did do something together, it's going to be pretty special. Just know that. And it was just nice to hear someone publicly speak nicely about him. I know Kelly Rowland did it a while back, but
At the award show.
professionally, where Chris Brown probably hasn't gotten the flowers and the recognition as an artist that he, had his career taken some different turns, where he could be. It was nice to see that. But then, you know, it's always something. It is always something with him. Like, I'm always rooting for Chris Brown. It's always something. And allegedly, there was a skirmish, a disagreement, words exchanged. Apparently, he was being very disrespectful to Tiana Taylor about something. Usher tried to come in and diffuse the situation. Um, Chris Chris Brown allegedly reacted poorly to this and off or whatever. Chris Brown stormed off. He left. Usher followed behind him, and then that's when shit hit the fan, and there was a fight. This is all alleged. No one has, made a statement. Charges have not been filed. It's seemingly all very hush hush right now. Of course, the Shade Room, excuse me, and all of those other, Instagram publications got wind of the story. And where there's smoke, there's fire. But also, it could have been a disagreement that didn't need to be public. And if that did happen, and they want to be quiet about it, they are, they have a right to privacy. And if it is true, I'm just disappointed that Chris Brown has found himself in this situation yet again. And I just want to know, what is it going to take for him to, like, why haven't we figured it out yet? What's going on here? Like, I
Mhm.
understand having a temper and everything, but he just seems to react poorly all the time to everything. And I
Mhm.
don't know. I know you love Chris Brown. I know you say he your
That
cousin.
is my cousin.
And so
And
I
you
was
know, we all got somebody to little up their cousin or their uncle or somebody in our family. Be like, you know, that nigga ain't rap too tight.
right. So I wanted to see what your thoughts were about the situation. I feel like we always say, the same difference podcast, and, we handle things the same and differently. So I'm curious about what your thoughts are, A, about Chris Brown and this story about him, and B, how would you have handled it if this was the truth and you were Usher? And then the last question is, do you think it's true?
Mm. So that's still my cousin. Um, But I got
Okay.
some cousins that done had to get their ass whooped a couple of times because they get with the family and they don't know how to fucking act. And that's Chris Brown. I was actually just looking up like, how old is Chris? Because I know he's around my age but younger than me. Chris is 34. You too fucking old to be acting like this. And I think part of the issue is that,
A
you know,
father of three.
and the reason I say you too old to act like this is because you would think at 34 a person would like make decisions a little bit differently that they did at 24 when they were in the media or the news for the same type of situation or scenario.
Yes.
But what seems to be the constant, obviously, isn't his age, but it is drugs. Now, please don't misunderstand me making excuses for this man because absolutely not. At 34, you should be able to make a conscious decision and effort not to do drugs, particularly if you know it make you act like a complete fucking fool. Excuse my language. So what I was reading was that there's a video clip of Bow Wow getting everybody to sing Chris happy birthday. And when I read the comments, it was like, look at that nigga, like he's on something, like he can't even stand still. And so
really? Okay,
it
I
was a
haven't
couple
seen
of people
this
saying it.
clip.
So I went back and I looked at the clip and he was kind of moving around. It wasn't like to me noticeable. I guess because of him and his history, you know, if you insert that, you know, like this hypothesis, maybe it would make sense. But it wasn't like, oh my God, he was definitely on. It was kind of like, he's just a little antsy, like he couldn't stay still. We know that Powder White does that, and that's one of the things he's known.
Look at sugar.
Right.
Okay.
It was his birthday, so and it's Vegas, so I'm sure he wasn't. He obviously wasn't sober, and I don't mean just alcohol. So then there was another clip of Usher was. I guess this is when the thing happened between him and Usher, but Usher was, and this is what I read. So of course, y'all, I wasn't there, but what I read is that Tiana Taylor was at Chris' birthday party. And Tiana and Chris have not been on good terms since she backed out of the Michael Jackson tribute that never happened. Right. And that Chris was saying that part of the reason that he believed that the network felt so comfortable pulling the tribute was because other stars that were supposed to be a part of it were backing out. So it was Chris's tribute, but he had like special guests coming to do certain things, Tiana Taylor being one of them. And so when stars like Tiana Taylor were pulling out, Chris feels like that helped the network give an excuse as to why they were pulling the entire thing. And Chris and Tiana were friends, and so there, what I read was that since she did that, they haven't been on speaking terms. So Chris was pissed that Tiana was at his birthday party.
Yeah.
Now, if that is true, allegedly, if that is true, I completely understand why he would be pissed. Because the time to write, not even about whether or not she should or shouldn't have pulled out of the performance, but just if you are at odds with somebody, the time to reconcile with them is not their fucking birthday party.
Yeah, especially if we haven't spoken.
Right.
Don't just show
and
up
particularly with the person like Chris Brown, who is sometimes like a hot erratic. You don't really know when they're gonna explode. That was the wrong time for them. Yeah. That's number one. Number two, Usher jumped in, allegedly. Usher jumped in because of the way Chris was speaking to Tiana.
Yes.
Telling him that it was disrespectful. You don't have to do all of that. You don't need to speak to her that way. And so Chris was then like, okay, you defended her. You throwing the party. Why you even let her come here? Who even invited her? Like, this supposed to be my birthday, my day, and you got somebody coming that I don't even fool with. And then when I say something about not fooling with them, then you try to jump in and make me the bad guy. The whole scenario should have never happened. Tiana should have never been at that party. And Chris should have never addressed it. If you saw her at the party, get her put out.
Pay her dust. Pay her
or
dust.
Don't. I wouldn't. I'm not even gonna say pay her dust because it's my party. I'm paying everybody dust. I'm dusting people up out the room if I don't want them to be there. It was the wrong time for that. So Chris gets pissed, and in the moment, maybe he does the right thing, and he does walk away and he leaves. And Usher, being the party host and the friend, somewhat looks like, goes after him like, let's not end things like this. We can still party. We can still have a good time. And they're saying that Chris' entourage was the one
that roughed him up and shit.
And you know what? And let me say this. This is not the first time I have heard of a scuffle that involved the name of Chris Brown that Chris Brown was not a party of. You are the company you keep. particularly when you have a name like Chris Brown. So
Mhm.
it doesn't matter if it was the Entourage. Nobody heard Entourage. All they heard was Chris
Chris
Brown.
Brown, yep.
And it's like, why y'all knowing, y'all knowing his track record and history and everything that is going to happen or be said if anything. Why are y'all beating people up? And why y'all beating up the man that threw my body?
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, even if Chris checked them, the damage is done.
Yep.
Your name is already in the headline
Yep.
about the man getting beat up.
About you being violent yet again.
Now, I
Allegedly.
don't think, like when you said no charges have been filed, I don't think charges will be filed because the next day for the Lovers and Friends Fest,
Yeah, he
they were
performed.
both there. Usher went on
Yeah,
his
Tiana was
Instagram,
jamming.
or
She was dancing and singing along.
well, he went on Instagram first, and he like, or maybe it was a video I saw. I
Yep,
don't
it
remember, but
was
the
like I
next
think he went to
day
Instagram, posted a
he
story.
was like in the camera. He was like, "Hey y'all, you know what's up?" Like he was talking, like nothing had
Mhm.
happened.
Like there was like
So I don't think like I don't think
he
it's
didn't
gonna
get
like
his.
get to a point there's gonna be charges filed. But I just think like the whole situation is just really unfortunate that
Yeah.
I just yeah.
Yep. So, do you think it happened?
Yeah, it definitely happened. Because if it did, like you said, where there's smoke, there's fire. And if this was a
Mhm.
totally untrue story, all parties involved would have came out and said so.
Mhm.
But nobody said anything, which is saying everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, poor Chris. I just, you would think that with age that but like you said, it's the drugs, and I think, I mean, it's Hollywood's worst kept secret. He is on that shit and has been for a long time, and doesn't seem like he
I
has
think he
any
goes
plans of
through
getting off.
periods. I think he goes through periods of not using it. But I think, his tour is over and it's his birthday and he's in Vegas and
Oh
it's
yeah,
Cinco de Mayo.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm quite
He's
sure he
turning
was
up.
partaking.
He's turning up. Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
So that's that.
well, God bless
Cuz
him.
I wish you would get it together. Big cuz is tired of always having to defend you. And I ain't gonna never defend you when you're wrong. But I will say when you're right. But get your shit together.
Yes. I I 100% agree. I think Chris Brown is insanely talented, from the singing, the dancing, the rapping, the acting, the fact that he's an artist, a painter, like he can do graffiti. He he's an incredible songwriter. I think people don't realize that Chris Brown, he like writes all of his songs. I'm sure
Hmm.
there's people that he works with, but he is he is incredibly talented, and he is truly a tortured artist. Like he is by definition a tortured artist, because there's always some trouble following him. Even the way that he, does the style of art that he does is like very kind of demonic and scary.
Well,
And
they say that those artists, those one in a lifetime type of artists, always have some type of alter ego or personality, or
mhm,
something that like haunts them and plagues them, like with like Basquiat. He could not leave that fucking heroin alone to save his life.
right,
But he was
right,
such like a genius when it came
brilliant,
to his art.
brilliant. Yep.
You know?
Yeah. So I always, deep down, like, and I'm sorry, Chris Brown got the jams. Like my cousin, my me and my cousin stayed in a room together when we were in Las Vegas, and she brought her little Bluetooth speaker, and so she had her little music going, and she, she's a Chris Brown fan, and so the little, her little Spotify or whatever it was playing different stuff, and I'm just like, okay, girl, what you know about this song? And I'm just going to always believe in him. And, he's just somebody that I have to support from afar, because I don't be with that. I'm not with that BS he's got going on. I'm just not. And I think you're a father of three. That there are people you can pay to rehabilitate your image and get you to where you're back on fucking top. Johnny Depp, or not, well, Johnny Depp, I guess, but what's his name? Robert Downey Jr. did it. I mean, he was like notorious for being a fucking like human being.
Hell,
So
at this point, even Black China got somebody on her team doing it for her.
like
Complete rebrand.
you can still turn things around and get back to a place where you are, respected for, your artistic talents and abilities, and your contributions. So Prayers up to him. It's always something, and I just hope that things just turn around. I'm just gonna keep hope alive for him. I really am. What we mentioned how we want him to get his shit together. Who really needs to get their shit together?
Oh,
This fucking government and these gun control laws.
girl.
Excuse me. So when we recorded last week, I left on a Tuesday. No, I left on a Wednesday, I believe.
I'm listening, friend. I just need to turn the light on real quick.
Yep. And the day I left, there was a shooting in Atlanta at a hospital, right?
Well, it started there.
And then you mean to tell me exactly 1 week later, we have another shooting in Texas at a mall? 8 people dead, 3 children.
Oh, it wasn't even a week. A couple days.
And I just feel like it's happening. It is a weekly occurrence. I believe we're at 190 something shootings this year. We not even 180 days into the year. I you it's starting to it's getting really grim and gross and disgusting and weird because the victims are getting younger and younger and younger, and these are like people are losing, like this little boy, he 6 years
Lost
old,
his whole family.
lost his whole family.
Mom, dad, and his brother. And he's 6 years old.
3, and the brother was 3. Like,
They say he's going to be an orphan because, like, I know what family you're talking about. It was an Asian family. So I
yes,
don't even know that he even has relatives in this country.
you're right about that because his dad immigrated here when he was like in college age or something, or before college. Yeah. But it's just, and then the other family lost their 2 daughters. And the wife, I believe, is in the hospital. She's
Yeah,
in the
I saw
hospital,
that
and
one.
but
Like,
she's
why? Yeah, I know which one because they said she in critical condition. I'm like, dang, to be in a
mhm.
hospital in critical condition and to wake up and find out both your kids are gone.
Like, it's
And then I saw that this guy that got on scene like before police, paramedics, or anybody, because they say it took the police 10 minutes to get there.
Jesus.
Which we won't get into that. But he was like there, and he was like trying to see like who could he help save. And he said it was this child that was hiding outside behind a hedge bush, and they had their arms over their head. And he said he went to turn them to see, how badly they were hurt. He said their whole face was gone because this gunman was using an AR-15. Like, why do y'all need these military weapons on the street? Those type of weapons are supposed to be used in combat to like completely
Mhm.
like disseminate a person.
Mhm.
Why
Mhm.
would you need that in this country? Just because you a gun owner. Like, it's just not making sense.
I don't know.
And I'm wondering also, like when they say, like when you have multiple calls going going out, and the police understand that there's a mass shooting happening at a mall. Why on God's earth did it take 10 minutes for the first person to get there? 10 whole minutes? You
Like,
stopped at the stoplights, you didn't have your sirens on, you just stopped at the stoplights and rode in with traffic sound like. 10
yeah.
minutes?
Yeah. Because there's a police station and a fire station not too far from a mall.
In every district there is something. There's someone, there's
Yeah,
somebody.
close by. And it's the mall. So it's
So I know
already
somebody
heavily
was in the
patrolled.
vicinity. Right.
It's
Right.
already heavily patrolled. And that's anywhere, wherever a mall is. There's law enforcement nearby. So the shooting that happened in Atlanta was on May 3rd. It occurred at a Northside Hospital facility. 5
Hmm.
people were shot, 1 fatally and 3 critically before a male suspect, Dion Patterson, fled the scene.
Baby, when I
Um,
tell you they was looking for him, I don't know how this
apprehended
man
8
got
hours
away.
later.
Yeah, they said they had Georgia State Police. Um, I'm gonna have to pull it up. Go ahead. I'm gonna
Yeah,
pull
I
it
mean,
up.
he was born and raised in Georgia, or born in Maryland, raised in Georgia, former Coast Guard electrician mate, serving for 5 years. He did have a previous criminal history, but no real. I don't know what the motive. Oh, he said the motive is revenge after being denied a prescription for Ativan. That's fucking
Hmm.
pathetic.
Well, see, that was what his mom was saying. His mom was saying they had gone to get a prescription refill for this particular medicine that he needed, and they wouldn't give it to him. They gave him something else instead. So I wouldn't even say it's pathetic. I think it's unfortunate because we don't know. This is obviously somebody who's struggling with their mental health, and so
Well,
I
now
don't
that
know
I'm
what
reading what
condition
it
he was in.
is,
Yeah, I don't know what condition he was in mentally. Couldn't been a good one to be going. When I tell you, he took these folks on the chase. He had them in like 2 or 3 different counties.
well, Ativan is used to treat anxiety disorders, trouble sleeping, severe agitation, active seizures, including status epilepticus, alcohol withdrawal, and chemotherapy induced nausea and vomiting. So I'm going to guess he's got an anxiety disorder, was suffering from severe agitation. And I'm not going to, I'm not going to diagnose the man, but I would not be surprised if there was alcohol abuse involved.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, that's the shooting that happened in Atlanta, and then the shooting that happened here in Texas. Now, mind you, before the shooting in Atlanta, that man blew his whole five of his neighbors away.
Wait, what? You broke up, friend? What you say?
Remember the week before we were even talking about the shooting, we were or before this shooting and the Atlanta shooting, there was the shooting where the man blew his whole neighbors, the people in the house, five of his neighbors.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Like,
I found what I was looking for. It said for this Atlanta shooter, this is who was all looking for him, and it was like everybody in Atlanta that was like on like posts and stuff was like, how is it this man keep getting to all these different places? And he wasn't in a V. He didn't have his own car. I think they said at some point he carjacked somebody maybe, but like he was like all across town, all over, and it's like, huh? Y'all got all this equipment and dogs and all these different entities looking for the man and helicopters
mm-hmm,
and street cameras, and y'all can't find him. So this is who was
mm-mm,
looking for him on a manhunt. Cobb County Police, Atlanta Police, Georgia Tech Police, Georgia State Patrol, Georgia State University Police, MARTA Police,
Jesus,
Fulton County Police, the FBI,
Jesus,
the GBI, and the Secret Service.
Jesus.
I'm not confident in you all's ability at all.
Like y'all, all of you.
And what's so funny is somebody wrote in the comments, "Do we have his Instagram? Give it to any female. She will track him down within a minute."
Hey, that's facts though, for real.
It
That's
really is.
crazy. Gosh, how many did you name off? What was that? 7, 8? Goodness.
Let's see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 different entities. And they were looking for this man for hours. For hours. Yeah, the whole situation with the guns though is just gun control is such a hot topic,
It
and I
does
don't know
not
why
exist. It does
everybody
not
can't
exist.
touch and agree on some aspect of it. But this is the crazy part, that is just a variable that we will never be able to control. Mental health, so many people are struggling with their mental health.
Hmm.
And so how do we police people who struggle with mental health and have a weapon? Because I could get a gun right now and I don't struggle with my mental health, but in 2 months, I'm getting ready to go off the deep end. You know?
Hmm.
Was there ever a motive? So we know the story with the Atlanta shooter wanting his prescription. Was there ever a motive for the person that did this mass shooting at the mall in Texas?
Well, what there's an article I found where they're saying authorities can confirm that the gunman had neo-Nazi ideation. He brought eight weapons with him to conduct the mass shooting. He had three
Mm,
weapons on his person, five in his car. And all of the weapons were obtained legally.
mm,
The motive remains unknown, but there was a social media profile that reveals he stalked the mall in the weeks prior to the shooting to identify
mm.
peak visitation time. So, um, yeah, there's some
And see, to
neo-Nazi
me, that ain't even,
racist
that's, you premeditated
bullshit.
this.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
Um yeah, authorities examining ideology of Texas gunman. Um Yeah, he had tattoos of Nazi symbols. There was a patch on his body armor that had like RWDS, which is an acronym for Right Wing Death Squad. Some white shit, man. Um, yeah, they were looking at electronic devices, interviewing family members. All very weird because he's
And you know
racist.
something else that's wild is like you said, the
Racist
acronym that
and
he was
mentally
wearing,
ill.
the right wing death squad is like, how many
Hmm.
more people in that organization that think that this is a great thing that he did? How many more people we
Oh,
gotta
there
be
were some
worried
men
about?
that were There were some men that were a part of the January 6th insurrection that had those little patches and shit on their clothes. So, I mean, it just I don't know. But like every time there's a shooting, the victims are like children, and the victims involve children. And that's not to say that there are other people who deserve to die, but I think that you know, it's high school shootings are bad enough. We didn't think it could get any worse, and then there was the Newtown shooting. And then you've got the Uvalde shooting. And now you have people at the movies, you have people at the mall. Like these victims are shopping with their parents. They're helpless. They're 3 and 6 years old. They
Well,
don't know what the fuck is
I
going
mean,
on.
honestly, I think I understand what you're saying. I think that that's a tactic that people use to try to get people to try to get those who don't want to bow to some sort of gun reform and gun control that children are dying. But I don't have children. I got plenty of people I love though, and I don't want to see any of them gunned down in the mall, at the
No,
school, in the movies, at church, in the bank, out and about, because
nowhere.
they
The
all
grocery
helpless.
store.
Anybody that gets attacked by somebody, whether it's premeditated or not, by somebody with a gun and that's just out there like on a mission to kill as many people as they can is helpless. So I'm sorry that the kids, the babies are involved, but I think everybody, it doesn't matter whether it's babies or 80-year-old people to me, because I don't have no kids, so
Mhm.
that don't,
Mhm.
that doesn't really. I guess for people who have kids, or I don't know, that maybe tug on their heartstring a little bit more. But shit, I don't want to die. I'm 36. I don't want to die.
Well,
I don't
yeah, I
want to
mean
die.
that's obvious, but it's just it's the headlines are getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And like when I say worse, it's just like the victims are becoming like younger and younger and younger, and it's just and they're like it's a real problem because children who are at the mall with their parents are catching bullets that they don't deserve. I understand older people going to the grocery store, they don't deserve to catch any bullets either, but it's just like I said, the headlines are getting worse and worse. There's no improvement. There's no change. You would think that after
Yeah, that's
one
my thing.
shooting has
Is no
happened,
change. I mean,
like
how many more people got to die, young or old, before like somebody finally says we got to put something in place here?
yeah, like what's going to happen for you guys to say, "Oh, we really have a problem." I don't get it. I don't understand it. But like when I was texting you, I'm like, it's every week at this point. Like it was scary to turn on the news. I'm at home. I'm like, whew, okay, got done with this travel for work. I'm home. I'm chilling. Oh, I just love Atlanta. It's so blah blah blah. And then I turn on the news and there's a headline about a gunman terrorizing Midtown Atlanta. Like, what the fuck? I
And
was
yeah,
just
I was looking back. I
there.
was looking back at the timeline. He was on the
Oh,
run for
that's
like
so
8 hours. 10 entities looking for one man for 8 hours.
it's so
Again, I
scary.
am not
It is so
confident in you all's
scary.
ability. I'm not.
It's
Mm-mm.
scary. So I mean, I just really hope that there is some change, some real change. Like I don't understand when you like when if I type up a piece of paper and say, "All right, you cannot buy guns anymore." Like why is it so difficult for the president to say these are the rules. This is what it's going to be. These are the rules. Thank you. Like what the fuck is stopping like I know that people have solutions. I know that people are bringing options to the table that probably are better than nothing, but nobody's moving things along. No, like
I mean,
I
honestly,
don't
it's
get it.
just these. It's really just these white folks and their guns, because everybody made a big deal about you don't want the children to be taught about homosexuality, and you don't want to drag people teaching your kids for reasons that
Mhm.
haven't even been proven to be happening or true. Yet we got all
Mhm.
these mass shootings and dead bodies on our hands, and y'all can't seem to put something in place, but y'all put something in place with a quickness for, people who have a different sexuality that is other than
Mm-hmm.
heterosexual. It just don't make
Mm-hmm.
sense. It just don't.
Yeah, y'all move swift for that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Yeah,
Abortion,
and
y'all want to control women's uteruses, but the guns is leave them folks
that's
alone
taking
with
things
their
too
guns.
far now. This is too far. It's too far. Everyone's getting a little too progressive, trying to take our guns and shit. Yeah, it's sick. It's really sick. um, Something else that is making me sick and too much of an occurrence is like you know how, remember we were talking about, I can't remember who it was. It was a shooting. It was an unarmed black man that was a victim of a shooting, and we were kind of talking about the people recording it, and it's just kind of, you like when George Floyd died, and it was just
Oh, you
constant
talking about
coverage.
it's so many patch I can't even remember the boy name.
I
But you
can't
talking
remember who
about the
we were
one in the
talking
black
about.
officers and they were in the fraternity. I think that might be the one you were talking about. We talked about that on the show. His name
I
started
think
with
this
a
was
T. It's on
before
the tip of
that.
my tongue.
Oh, you're talking about Tyree Nichols.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking. I think we were talking about something else because this was even before that. But
Mm.
I think the what we were discussing was like people posting videos of people dying, and it just being like reposted and just shared and just kind of a lot to see. So there was a man on the subway who, was who died as a result of a chokehold, and we all know this because somebody was recording this struggle. A homeless man on the subway in New York City, and he was acting erratically, probably
Mm-hmm.
having a psychotic break, if you will. He expressed that he was hungry and kind of threw his coat down on the ground, and he was, look, I'm homeless and I'm hungry, shit. And I think he was having a moment, and some ex-marine white man decided to get up, choke him, put him in a chokehold, I guess to subdue him, and had him in a chokehold for 15 minutes, and the young man died. He died.
So basically, he did standing what the man did to George Floyd on the ground, is what I'm hearing.
Pretty much.
And he
Nope,
is
he
not.
like he took the man to the ground, took him to the ground, and like the white man was on his back, the black man was on top of him, and he had him in a chokehold, had him choked up, choked that man to death, choked him to death,
Yeah, this
and
was
then
one
they
of
were.
those stories where it met me in a place where I wasn't able to digest hearing or seeing that. So I hadn't even listened to the story, but I did hear that some other passenger killed him. And I also heard that he
Mm-hmm.
was released from police custody, wasn't charged.
Yep.
Has he been charged at this point?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Wow. So now being a public nuisance is you can be killed by anybody.
Well, that's the by anybody for me. Like, I don't understand why white people feel like they can just show up, like, citizens arrest, and I'm gonna, like, you don't know this man to just be choking him up and grabbing him like that. Like,
And
my
I
worst
also
fear
like
sometimes.
I also want to know where the fuck was the rest of excuse me. Where were the rest of the passengers while this was going on? Because 15 minutes is excessive.
watching, watching. I think there
Wasn't
were a
no
couple
black people on that
passengers that
train?
were. I think I'm not sure. I don't know who was all on the train, but I know that there were some passengers that were helping this Marine subdue this man. And then there
And
was
they all
someone
need to
else
be
that was
charged
sitting
with
there
murder.
recording it. They were
They all
sitting
need to
there
be charged
recording
with
it.
murder.
I just, like, I don't want to wake up and try to and watch Good Morning America before work and watch a man die on the subway. I don't understand why white people think, they're just so nosy. They always want to take matters into their own hands. And now you've got this white man, like I just, if I had someone in a choke, I wouldn't even want to choke anybody. I mean, I never say never, because maybe I feel like I'm in danger and I got to choke your ass to get out of danger. But like, You just took it upon yourself to choke this man,
You took it upon
and
yourself
he's
to
and
kill
he's
this man because he was being annoying. Call the thing a thing.
right.
Like, and then on top of that, it's like, it's fucking New York. God, what is going on with my mouth today? It's New York. Like, it's New York. This isn't like a rare
This is
occurrence. Like,
not
it's New
new.
York.
This
It's the
is not
subway.
new.
Right.
I
I hope that I saw something about. I know when things like this happen and I'm not able in the moment to digest all of it, I will later go back and
mm-hmm,
read the version that I need to read, which is usually on Sean King's page. So I'm going to
mm-hmm,
go to Sean King's page and I'm going to read what happened because he does a really good job of breaking down the facts.
mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I hope this man got somebody that loves him or cares about him that will press the police to press charges
Mm-hmm.
or sue this person or something got to happen. Like, in what world? Because again, if we just reverse the roles, somebody would have been charged.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
in what world is it ever okay to just decide that you are going to take it into your hands to choke somebody to death because they're annoying the people on the subway? What?
I don't. It's kind of like that. Remember that man, that bird watcher man, that man that was in Central Park in New York minding his business, bird watching. I believe he was like a National Geographic
Mm-hmm.
photographer,
Mm-hmm.
and this white woman just
And
gonna
the lady
come
was
up and
asking
get
him,
to
why is he
hooting and
taking
hollering
pictures?
and almost choke her own fucking dog to death. Like
Friend, I didn't hear
they
nothing you
always
said.
say.
You was all broke up. But you talking about the bird watcher guy that the lady asked him what was he doing or why he out there taking pictures or something.
Uh-huh. Yep.
They can't
And
never
they
mind their business.
basically tried to tell him to leave from wherever they were at, because it wasn't like he couldn't be there or something. Like, bitch, what?
In Central Park.
No less. It's crazy. But yeah, I thought that was just, it was really sad to see this. But it's, it's just always something. It's these people being violated when they're at malls with their family, getting shot up. This is it's a man having a mental health break on the subway, getting choked to death. Like, it's just, there was a moment in
It's
time where I
exhausting.
wasn't watching the news.
It's
Yeah, and I
exhausting. It is
I started
exhausting.
watching the
If
news.
if you are a black person listening to this podcast, when I say it's exhausting, I know you understand exactly what I mean.
Mhm.
If you are listening
Mhm.
to this podcast and you are not black, oh my gosh, I can't even put it into words to try to get you where I'm at. But this is exhausting. Like, for real. Like, it's exhausting.
Mhm.
Ugh.
Yeah, it makes my stomach hurt, and I think I haven't been in locked into the news for a while, but I think because I've been kind of living out of a hotel, I think I like to just turn on the TV when I'm getting ready for work, and like watching the news kind of like, just sets the tone for my day. And when I'm traveling, it kind of helps me like with some balance. And so I've just been seeing these headlines, and it's just like you said, it's exhausting, and we're gonna stop watching the news for a little bit. We're gonna stop. Something else that's exhausting. Black women being beat up and yelled at and talked down on because we have standards.
I should have
And I
took
bring
myself
this
a
up,
drink.
because um Eboni Williams, if you are not familiar, she is a lawyer and a podcast host, and she is a former Real Housewife of New York. She was doing an interview
Oh,
with the
really?
uh-huh.
Hmm.
She was doing an interview with Iyanla Van Zant, and if you don't know who that is, she is a
Auntie.
therapist, a
Auntie.
licensed healthcare professional, who, at one point in time was, kind of like Oprah's guru lady or whatever.
I don't really know much about this lady. I didn't know anything about her. I saw an interview, but I didn't know that she was a lawyer and Real Housewives of New
Mhm.
York. So what was the point? I was saying that Iyanla is like auntie. Iyanla is like the auntie that you love so much, but it's like, all right, auntie, sometimes you be in our business too much. Damn. So why were they even doing an interview to begin with?
So I'm not exactly sure, but I know that Ebony has a podcast. So I think, I don't know what the interview was about, but obviously, people post clips and they spread like wildfire. It's not ever like the whole interview. I didn't watch the whole interview. But I picked up what everyone was putting down by
Well, I didn't
reposting
watch
it.
the
But
whole
basically,
interview, and I'm sure most people who had an opinion didn't watch the whole interview, but they saw that one buzzworthy clip
and it
that
just
everybody got an
has
opinion
been.
about. Hmm.
So basically, I think the conversation was surrounding dating standards, and Ebony was more or less speaking about, where she's at, what she prefers, what she wants in partnership. And she's an accomplished lawyer. She's NAACP nominated. Like I
Okay.
said, she's been on Real Housewives. She's
May I
incredibly
ask, do you
accomplished
know?
already.
May I ask, do you know how old Miss Ebony is?
I do not, but I'm going to give her a good 47.
Okay.
She's older. She's an older
Okay.
woman.
Okay.
Um, So, I think Iyanla kind of, Iyanla is very much that auntie that's going to humble you.
Now I don't know if Wikipedia is right or wrong. They got to be wrong because it say Ebony is 39.
Oh, she might be 39 and I was wrong.
Okay.
I mean, she's beautiful. She's a beautiful lady. So, even if she was 50, that bitch look good. Or excuse me, not bitch. That woman looks good. But anyway, um, Ebony basically said she wouldn't date like anybody that basically was like professionally not at her level. And Yana was like, would you date a
Now
bus
did she
driver?
say? But is that what she said though? Because the clip that I saw, Iana asked her. I don't even know what they were talking. See, this is why context is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're even judging this whole situation off of just a clip, but just for the sake of the conversation, what I heard was Iana asked her, "Would you date the bus driver?" And she said, "If he owned the
Yeah.
bus."
Yeah. If he, which is silly because like, you, like if the, if you own the bus, I don't know what the fuck she was trying to say when she said that.
I do.
I mean, if he owns the bus, meaning he owns a busing
Meaning,
company.
meaning is he so in Richmond, Virginia, where I'm from, the bus is called GRTC, Greater Richmond
Mm-hmm.
Transit Company.
Mm-hmm.
So what she's saying is she wouldn't date the person who drive the bus, who's stopping at
Right.
stop 8, stop 2211, but she would date the CEO. That's what I took
Okay.
from it.
If he owned the bus.
Or if it was a
Okay.
private company who was a busing company for whatever,
Mhm.
she wouldn't date the person driving for the for the private company, but she would
Mhm.
date the person who owns the company. That's what I took from it.
Mhm.
Is that
She
not what
said
she
if
meant?
she said if he, I'm sure that is what she meant because I'm like,
Okay.
what do you mean if he owned the bus? Because if he owned the bus, he owned the company, and he ain't driving that motherfucking bus. That's where my brain took me. But Iyanla was like, if that man loved being a bus driver, I would still date him because what if he loved being a bus driver? And so then she's bringing up what if this person was very successful and had a lot of money and just drove a bus for the love of driving a bus? Would you date him? I wonder. I My guess is that's like if it was like that, would you date a bus driver? Like a
You
bus
asking
driver who
me?
was sitting. Yeah, would you date a bus driver?
Now
Let's
why
say
you
he
got
was
to
sitting on
start
a
out
gold
asking
mine.
me? Now why I got to be in it?
No, like if so, would you date a bus driver?
No.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah. Like,
So
why
that's
are y'all
okay.
acting like a woman who is as accomplished as Miss Ebony? Okay, she has her Juris Doctorate.
But let's
Like
turn this
we
up.
we not
Turn
even in
it
the
up.
same rooms. We not even on the same playing field. We don't even have the same mindset. Do you know the qualifications to become a bus driver? A clean driving record. You don't need a college education. Like y'all really gotta think past what you heard, and you really gotta like dig a little deeper. The person
Yeah.
who didn't even go to college, okay, which now I ain't no shade to that. That's a different conversation for a different day. But We're talking about someone who went to school and then went back to school and then did more education and then their internships and externships and went back to school again versus somebody who has a high school education. Come on, y'all. This ain't complex math. This real simple. This 1+1 = 2 type math. Come on.
Iyanla is someone that is always, I felt like, been a proponent of being equally yoked with your partner. So I don't even know why she would ask Eboni that to begin with, other than to try to humble her.
For this moment right here, because it's something that everybody's going to buzz and talk about, and because she felt like she was going to be able to answer Miss Eboni with a response that made it seem like her answer should be diminished. Eboni wasn't shading any type of bus driver. She was just saying, I can't be with that person. I love black men. I mean, I love black men. But it's a certain type of black man that I just can't deal with. Can't date, won't look at, ain't gonna talk to, can't get my phone number. And that's just what that is.
Right.
Like, why are we acting like having standards is like this out of the norm thing? This is a regular thing. It's just like a Christian woman saying, I cannot date or deal with or marry someone who does not love the Lord. Okay, you're a Christian woman and you are deep in your faith, and you say, I can't marry somebody that's Muslim, or I can't marry someone who's an atheist. You wouldn't have no issue with that. But Eboni saying she can't date the bus driver is an issue. Be so for real right now. Like, please be for real. It's not saying bus drivers aren't worthy of love, don't deserve respect,
companionship,
aren't nice, kind, smart, loving people. But everybody that's nice, kind, smart, loving, and driving the bus is not for me.
Exactly. Did you see any clips of her interview on The Breakfast Club when she had to pretty much defend herself and her comments?
Honestly, when I see things that have to do with DJ Envy giving an opinion, I skips right on past.
Okay. I just cannot believe he was getting so bent out of shape and being all disrespectful. You hurt a lot of people's feelings. If you don't shut the fuck up, shut up.
I'm black. I hurt a lot of people's feelings just by waking up and putting my feet on the ground. I'm not worried about nobody's feelings because I have my own standard. Like, what? And that's what people have to really get away from is, oh, you hurt a lot of people's feelings. That's their problem. That's not mine. Me walking and living in my truth and setting a certain standard and having likes and dislikes. I can't worry about who.
Ain't got nothing to do with nobody else.
Okay. Take it up with the master is the only thing I can tell you.
I just don't know why he was so mad. Like, if his daughter says she wanted to marry a bus driver, he wouldn't be upset. Like, stop playing. Playing. Because the first thing he's going to bring up is the education he paid for her to have, for her to do this, that, and the third, and she wants to be with a bus driver. Like, stop playing. You wanted to get on your.
How that bus driver is, or how well he treat her, or how much he loved his daughter, he wouldn't be down for it.
No, absolutely, and neither was Charlamagne because he got 4 daughters.
And so, like, I didn't watch that whole interview, and I don't even know if this is something that was discussed on the interview, or if this is something that I read in comments. A lot of times, if I see a clip, I'll just go to the comments to figure out what they're talking about because I don't want to watch that. Mm-hmm. But what I did see somebody saying is, how could anybody even expect somebody like Eboni K Williams to be interested in someone who is a bus driver when they live 2 totally different lifestyles? Mm-hmm. Can the bus driver even afford to fly as much as Eboni? I highly doubt it. Can they get that much time off from work? I highly doubt it. They literally work probably not even the 9 to 5. They probably got to be open for a shift. Them long 12 type of shifts, a 5 to 5, or like, we don't even live the same type of lifestyle
at all.
Huh?
But because this bus driver had interest in Eboni, she's supposed to give him a fair shot. And that's what I do not like. She's what did she say? Oh, what did she call it? The something of mediocrity. I wish I could remember it, but what that basically means is like why we always got to accept the basic, simple, mediocre.
And that's what I want to get into. Like, let me see if I can pull it up. What did
the something of mediocrity? What the heck was that?
Okay, I don't know if this is it. It doesn't say anything about mediocrity, but it says that She said, while many may be used to mediocrity, says she personally does not support the bigotry of low expectations.
There it is. There it is. The bigotry of low expectations.
And I love that. Oh, I love that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Average is not and will never be good enough for me. And the gag is, I don't think it's good enough for you either. Come on, Miss Ebony. I'm becoming a fan, baby. I don't even know you.
Sprinkle,
Yeah.
sprinkle.
Right, sprinkle. Oh, you didn't, friend. Are they talking about that on Twitter? Because you know I sent you a couple of videos with this Shara talking about the sprinkle. Oh, they talking about it on Twitter now?
There's just people that'll tweet something and then they'll close the tweet with sprinkle, sprinkle. Yeah.
Oh, friend, never remember who put you on, girl.
Mhm. Mhm.
But yeah, like I really love that because, like, again, let's just keep it a stat. You don't need education to be a bus driver. You just need a clean driving record. Okay, you need a clean driving record. You need a clean criminal record. That's expected. Okay,
Yeah.
but when we talk about somebody who has a high school education versus someone who has a Juris Doctorate, we're not even this. Y'all can't even be for real trying to make this make sense. You can't. It's like saying 1 + 1 = an egg. Please stop playing. Don't do that. Don't do that. And then, like she said, like the bigotry of what is it? The bigotry of low
Low
expectations.
expectations.
I want so much for myself, and you don't really seem to want as much.
Right.
So why is it that I have to now come all the way back down to where I came from to meet you where you are? Why you can't come up to where I'm at? Why you can't raise your expectation and your desires? Why do I have to come down? If I won't come down, I'm wrong. But how about if you won't come up, you wrong? That's how I take it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that way not just about relationships and men, but I feel like that about even the whole situation we talked about earlier in the show with Chris Brown. At 34, you can't keep doing that same nonsense you was doing at 24. I need you to raise the bar and raise the expectation and be able to behave a little bit differently. And if you don't, you get publicly shunned. If you were to raise the bar, everybody would be singing your praises. So why is it that on some things everybody wants us to go high? Okay, Michelle Obama said, "When they go low, we go high.
We go
but
high."
What it's giving is when they go low, you want me to go to hell. Make it make sense.
The math isn't mathing there, my dear.
At all. 1 + 1 don't equal an egg. Okay.
No. I just don't. I know women who won't even look at a man if he's not in a certain tax bracket, and these are, like this. That is the standard, and there is no excuse me. Oh, what, girl? Oh my God, you're just gonna eliminate so many men if you don't. No one says anything like that to them when they say.
You know what's so funny that you say that, Pasha, is that, and this is me just inviting y'all into my space with God. I literally prayed about communing with people who were, I don't know if I told you this. I know I've told my homegirl back in Richmond, but I know I said many times since I've been in Atlanta and I have been single, 2021, 2022, I would say I haven't met my husband because I'm not in the right tax bracket yet. My husband is in a different. I've told you that, have I not? Yes, I did. Mm-hmm. I've said that. My husband is in a different tax bracket and I haven't gotten there yet. That's why I haven't met. I've said that. Why can't I want a certain type of life and being okay with saying, okay, my husband is in a different tax bracket and I got to get there. That's what I'm striving to. I'm striving up. I'm not striving down. That don't even make sense.
Yeah. I don't understand the backlash or why people had anything negative to say about what she said. I feel like she handled herself very well with Iyanla and with the Breakfast Club. One person who I feel can be demeaning sometimes and wants to humble Black women, especially because that's who she's always worked with, Iyanla. But also, the Breakfast Club, they be doing some stuff too that I don't really like. So I was happy to see Ebony kind of be 10 toes down
I'm
on.
gonna have to go back and watch it now because even when you talk
Yeah, I
about
am
DJ
too.
Envy
I'm gonna
wouldn't
watch
want
both of them.
DJ Envy wouldn't want his daughter to date someone that we all know he
Right.
cheated on his wife with Erica Mena. Now, if your wife were to cheat with you and she cheated with the bus driver, first thing you would say is a bus driver. That'd
The
be the
motherfuckers.
first thing you say.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And again,
So
no shade to the bus drivers. Okay, there is somebody at your level on your playing field that will love you to death. Okay, love your
right,
dirty
right.
draws and treat you like the king that
Yeah,
I believe you to be.
yeah.
But not me.
Just not me. Just not me.
No, not at all.
Just not
Mm-mm.
me.
Mm-mm.
I yeah, she said what she said. Here's this is something that I've kind of noticed. Iyanla is like one of those women that always want to be like, now you need to understand, baby. You need to just, sometimes it's okay to accept blah 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 blah. And sometimes there are women that are very much like, well, you know, you should just do this because you don't have much time, or you should accept this because hey, this is an option. And it's just, there's sometimes I feel like older black women will kind of try to make a case for settling. And I feel like Iyanla was trying to make a case for Ebony that she needed to settle. And I think that's
Mm.
weird. I think that's a little bit weird.
Um, I think Iyanla's answer was definitely weird. I can see some black women trying to make a case for settling, but I don't want to. I don't want to misconstrue an older black woman giving you advice that sounds like settling versus an older black woman giving you advice about life. For example, I could see an older black woman saying what Iyanla said, which is if the bus driver love you, if the bus driver gonna treat you right. Honestly, a bus driver can't even treat me right because the things that I want you ain't even gonna be able to afford. And I'm not being funny and I'm not trying to be snooty or none of that. I'm just keep it a stack. Okay? If you date a man that can send you $2,000 because you just $2,000 is what he asked you what you wanted, he could just send it and not blink back, and it don't hurt his pockets. Versus somebody who not even paying $2,000 for rent. Come on, y'all. Again, 1+1 don't equal that damn egg. Stop trying to make that make sense. Okay,
Stop trying to
so
make
you could
fetch
get
happen.
a huh?
Stop trying to make fetch happen.
It's never gonna happen. So yeah, you could get somebody that give you advice like Iyanla saying, well, if the bus driver love you, this, that, and the third. But you could get advice from an older black woman that's giving you advice on, well, don't be so hard on this person, or don't harp too much on they didn't do this time, or they didn't do this right that time. That's a difference. There's a difference. I feel like Iyanla's version was settling, and the other version is, let me just give you some advice on life and love or
Yeah.
relationship or marriage or whatever the case may be, because I've been in a marriage for the last 25 years and I've learned to pick my battles, and I've learned the things that are worth
Or I
talking
make
about.
more money than my husband.
Right. There's a difference. So I don't think that older black women always give advice for settling, but I think also you gotta put things into perspective in the right context, because a woman that's 25 years deep into a marriage, I would take her advice with a grain with more. I would lean more into her advice than a woman who has never been married and has 3 baby daddies that is the same age as the woman that's been married. Like you
I
65 and
believe
you've been
that.
married for 25. You 65 and you've been married for 25 years and you're giving me advice on dating, love, and relationships. And you 65, you've never been married and you got 3 baby daddies giving me advice on love, marriage, and relationships. I'm sorry. Some of that stuff got to go in one ear, not the other. And I let you be the judge of whose is going to go in and go out. Just where I'm at with it. And then also, you even the person that's 65 that's 25 years deep in a marriage, y'all could be two totally different people with two totally different circumstances and two totally different types of men. You just got to take things like you got to do what's best for you. I'm always somebody that likes to hear about people's advice and
Yeah.
getting wisdom instead of me having to learn the lesson personally. I love to gain wisdom from people, and the perfect
Yes.
person that
Yeah.
always gave me the best advice based on wisdom was my grandma.
My
But me and my
grandma.
grandma live in two totally different time frames. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when my
But
grandma
those
was
values
when
don't
my grandma was
change.
36, it was 1969. Being 36 in 1969 when women couldn't even have their own bank account, and being,
Right.
36 in 2023 when I have
In the
three bank accounts, it's like, come on, like you got
yeah.
to take things
Yeah.
for what they are in the moment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So that's that. I also just don't like that. I feel like I'm talking too much, but I
No,
took a
you
little
are
shot,
not.
y'all. Also, just so y'all know, I want y'all to think I'm on that Chris Brown time. But
You're funny.
oh yeah, I'm sorry. I've worked too hard, and I'm working too hard
Mm-hmm.
to allow anybody to tell me that I have to dumb myself down and I have to meet people where they are in order for me
Yep.
to be happy. No, there's somebody on my level, my playing field that can do just that. So I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
this thing is that black women having standards. Y'all tell us we should have standards and we shouldn't, we should get married before we have kids and we should do this and we should do that. It's like y'all don't really know what the
And
fuck
then
y'all want us to do.
we have
I know what I'm
standards,
gonna do.
and now it's a problem.
Whatever I want.
Yes. Period. Period. Okay. Fuck out of here.
Even like when it
Like.
comes to men, like men be like, if a rapper or a football player or somebody starts messing with um a Instagram model or video vixen, it's like you own nothing when you met them. They had all the money. It's like, wait, what? So you shaming the rapper or the ball player for messing with an Instagram model, but the lawyer can't not want to deal with the bus driver?
Right. Right.
It's not making
Right.
sense, y'all.
It
Throw
don't.
that damn
And
egg
it
away.
don't.
Or scramble it with some cheese. Eat it and shut up. Because this don't make no sense.
Not a lick of sense. Not a lick.
What about you, friend?
Yeah,
Would you
I
date
don't
a
know.
bus driver?
No. No, I wouldn't date a bus driver.
It's like,
No.
no.
No. Just this. I was raised. My mom raised me to be with some. What? My mom raised me to date someone where they were going to meet or beat you. That was the rule. That was like the rule. He's got to meet you or beat you. Like salary wise, like he's got to meet me where I'm at salary wise, or he has to beat me, make more than me. So, yeah, good luck and Godspeed, because I know where I'm at. I know where I'm sitting in my tax bracket. And to meet or beat me, I don't want to like toot my own horn, but you pretty successful, you know, and don't laugh.
Toot, toot.
um,
Beep,
huh?
beep. That's what Nene and Greg said when they was on the
Okay,
reunion.
toot
Beep,
toot, bam.
beep. Mm.
Yeah, I mean that's what my mom said. He has to meet you or beat you, and so it would be lovely to meet someone that's like earning what I'm earning, if not more, because now we really rolling in the zone and shit. But like but also me and my mom also had another realistic conversation, and she was just like, I feel like if you are meeting someone that literally has everything that you have, like he was handsome, he was successful, he made as much money as you did, he lived in a big city like you. She was like, those though that's probably going to be really rare to find someone that has all of that like you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, don't say that. Don't say that. Like, let's have
No, but
faith and
she's
believe.
being realistic. She's being realistic because I have had the same
Well,
conversation with myself. Like the likelihood of meeting somebody who meets or exceeds what you make and who
mhm,
has the freedom of their time like you do and
mhm,
who doesn't have kids because you don't Like
Mm-hmm.
the likelihood is diminishing, but there's some things I can't give up on. At 36, I'm willing to give up on the no kids. At 36, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not willing to
Mm-hmm.
date the bus driver. I'm not
Right,
sorry
right,
about it. Okay?
right. And I mean, we shouldn't be. We shouldn't be because even in movies like The Help, the white women's husbands, they weren't bus drivers. So I don't know
Hmm.
why we have to I don't know why we have to just accept whatever. I can shoot for the fucking doctor or the lawyer or the ad exec or the CEO or the stockbroker if I want to.
And you said this lady, Miss Ebony, she's on Real Housewives of New York.
She was just for one season. She wasn't a favorite and she didn't get
Okay.
asked back, but
Okay, but
yeah.
the other ladies that are on Real Housewives of New York now, past, present, are any of their husbands bus drivers?
No.
Exactly. Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. So, I it was an interesting conversation. They always are, but I just know what kind of cut cloth I was cut from, and so I was on Ebony's side. I ain't dating no bus driver. I'm just not. Sorry, I'm just
Hmm.
not. I'm just not.
Hmm.
I'm just not.
Hmm. And to be honest, when you get to like a certain level, regardless of what that level may be, you don't even like me personally. I don't really roll in circles where there are bus drivers. If I'm being
Right,
honest, we're
right,
not in the same spaces.
right. Like at all. Like
Yeah,
not even. Not
yeah.
even.
Unless
So,
you catch me at the
um,
gas station or the grocery store, we don't hang out in the same locations.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. I mean, it, very interesting conversation, and it always comes back to this is what black women get, and y'all got to be happy with that. And I don't like that, and it's something that resonated with me in a different spectrum because I was thinking about my job and kind of the experience that I have been having and how I felt like it was very much like this is what you gonna get and you got to be okay with it. And it's like, no, I don't. No, I don't.
says who?
No, the fuck I don't. And so don't think just because this is what you said and this is what you want to offer that I have to like just go for it and be like, okay, like I'm dumb and I don't know my worth or something. Like it's just ridiculous. And I'm getting tired of we deserve to be uplifted and exalted and supported and loved and treated to the soft life, and we should be able to have the rich we should be able to have all of that like everybody else, like every other woman. It should not be this thing
Hmm.
every time a black woman explicitly states her standards. She never said she wouldn't date a
Yeah.
lawyer. She did, what if the lawyer made half as much money as she did? He's still a lawyer. Intellectually, they identify, they can talk about things, they understand long
Preach, friend.
hours,
Come on, friend, preach.
you
They not
know?
hearing you yet.
So it's just like you said, we don't move in similar circles where I would be around a bus driver. They're just not even going to be on my radar. And this isn't a movie. It's not like you went out with your homegirls and you saw this super fine ass man who was running up a check and shit, and then you found out he was a bus driver later. It's not a rom com. This isn't Think Like a Man with the girl with the food truck man. Like but he also became an entrepreneur and owned a fucking food truck and shit. And then in the next Think Like a Man, he was opening a restaurant in Vegas. Like, stop it, stop it. It's not like the
Right.
movies. It ain't like the movies. So, you know, I'm always going to cheer for black women shooting for the moon and getting everything that their heart desires. Mentally, physically, financially, romantically, all of the ullies, all of them, all of them.
Yeah. Well, friend. Anything else you want to add? Oh, let me tell y'all. So I had a very frustrating morning.
Uh oh.
And I talked about, if you follow me on TikTok, you've already seen this, and I am going to give an update because there is some things developing. Okay. I
Oh
went to
goodness.
get my nails done on Friday. All I got was a fill in and this. Very simple. you know,
Cute.
not too much, you know, not giving too much. Okay, very simple design and a fill-in. Friend, how much do this cost?
What, $100?
For a fucking fill-in?
Well, I mean, you got designs and stuff too, right?
That is, sweetie, that is, look at the design, Passion. All I see is lines. And she didn't even put the nude polish on top before she added the color so you can still see my nail underneath. So try again and get it right.
Okay, well, then how much was it? But $80? 80?
You
70?
think that's
75?
how much a fill-in is worth? Is $80? A fill-in is worth $80?
I mean, the lady that does my nails when I'm done, it's costing me about $85.
Do you think that is a fair price for the service you're getting? Not what the usual and everybody else's price is. I'm asking, do you think $85 for your fill-in and your polish is accurately priced service?
For me, yes, because she is fire and she's cheaper than the girl I went to when I lived in Minneapolis.
Okay, these ain't fire. And for me, no. Okay? No. It's a fuck no for me. Okay? So
Really?
I
So
was disappointed this morning when I checked my bank account. I think I told y'all at the beginning of the episode, my friend was asking me what was these charges that he had on his account. And I said, well, let me check mine. And I said, oh, yeah, friend, that extra $20 charge we had, that was from a drink. And then I just said, let me go through the rest of these. And I see that I was charged a certain price for these nails I got done. Okay? I got a fill-in and a design. What would have been acceptable in my eyes for this? 60. 65 at the max. But it was 77 big ones. So, I mean, the work is done. The price is what it is. I give her my card. Here go to 77. And as she's running my card, I'm pulling out cash because I'm a tipper. Y'all beat me in the head for this price, but I'm still going to tip you. I waited an hour for this particular lady because she did my nails 2 weeks prior, and she did a good job. So I give her the $10. I sign the receipt. I put a line through the thing because I tipped her in cash, and I go on about my Cinco de Mayo. Okay? Then I get up this morning, and I'm looking at my account, and I see I got a charge from the nail shop for $80. I thought the service was $77, and yes, I do want to know my other $3 there because they mine. Particularly because I tipped you $10 in cash.
And I didn't authorize charges for 80. I authorized charges for 77. Because when I sign my signature, that means I'm authorizing this. And I authorized for $77.
$10 on top of a severely overpriced service. Okay? This is not a $77 service. These aren't $77 designs. It's not a $77 fill-in. I still tipped you 10 and you being greedy?
And you're being greedy?
So you know what I did?
What you do, girl?
I took a deep breath and I evaluated the situation and the circumstance. And y'all know how I am. Do I say something? Do I not say something? Do I spaz? Do I not spaz? Do I go up there? Do I not go up there? And what?
So you're seeing this charge come up in real time.
Well, this happened on Friday. Today, Tuesday. So the bank didn't have time to process everything.
Okay.
All the tips been going through. It's gone from processing to posting.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to figure out what I need to do. Because if I call the bank, and mind you, I paid with my Bank of America business debit card. They're going to be on my side. Okay? They're going to be on my side. I am just trying to figure out how do I need to handle this situation because I know if I call the bank, they're not going to give me back $3. They're giving me back the whole charge. And I'm not trying to steal the money for the service that you performed, though it was severely priced. The price is the price. So I didn't want to call the bank and get all of my money back, but I also didn't want to not say nothing because you're playing with me.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks ago when she did my nails, I tipped her $20 because she changed my shape and she did it very well. So I tipped her $20. So this time, that's why I waited an hour for her. And this time I tipped her $10 because you're not changing no shapes or nothing, boo. All you doing is a fill-in and this. We're not even going to call this a design. This lines. You gave me 2 lines. Okay? It's 2 on that finger and it's 2 on that finger. The rest of them ain't even got no lines, just 2. So you haven't even done, but I still tipped you. So I'm trying to figure out why you robbed me, because that's what happened. I got robbed on Cinco de Mayo. I got robbed, and I'm trying to figure out why you robbed me on Friday.
Oh, so did
and
you?
I waited all day, Pascha. I didn't say nothing. But the TikTok girl slid on me and said, "Girl, I know you ain't finna let her do you like that, girl. I know it's not giving that, girl." And I was like, you know what? I'm finna text this lady. I'm just pulling up my TikTok to see where we at. Yeah, the TikTok girlies is 2,600 views deep and 153 comments deep, telling me, "I know you ain't finna let that ride." So I said, you know what? I'm not finna let that ride.
I would be asking about my $3.
So I sent her a text. And I said, spelled it out real nice. "Sweetie, here's my nails. If you don't remember who I am or what I'm talking about." And the only reason I had her number is because as I'm tipping her, she says, "Oh, take my number. Take my number. That way you call next time. You don't wait for me." Because I waited an hour for her. So you got somebody that tipped you $20 2 weeks ago, $10 a day. I'd be trying to get it my number too. Yeah, okay, fine, no problem. So now I got your number and I got some questions. Miss Wynn, Miss Lady, Miss Ma'am, okay? Why you rob me? Because I tipped you. Why you robbing me? She said, "Oh, that's so weird." No, it's not weird. It's robbery, sweetie. Call a spade a spade. It ain't weird. I gotta check with my manager. You check with him and let me know by 8 o'clock before y'all close. And I didn't say because if you don't, but I knew in my mind if I don't hear from y'all by 8, I'll be there at 11 a.m. So tomorrow, guess where I'm going?
Oh shoot!
Because I don't like that. I don't like being robbed. That is scam. It's scammy, and I don't like that. I don't like that. I tipped you, and I paid your high ass service, and you still robbed me. Yeah, that's not cool. Them my $3, and I do want them.
She tried it. I'm nervous for them.
I ain't going up there being nasty. Tomorrow. I'm not going up there being nasty or rude or any of that. But I do want to know about my money. If you don't want to wait for the update on the nail situation, just follow me on TikTok. It was always joy. Because I'm gonna probably do an update there tomorrow after I go up there. Seems like I'm gonna have to.
I can't wait.
The only thing I got planned for the week is that, in addition to my little project behind us, it's gonna be a different little vibe back there. I'm excited about that. It also made me really excited to be like cleaning up my space and, you know, moving stuff out, getting stuff organized and together. And I'm just like, I was in a car earlier and I was like, oh, like I feel like I'm getting the excitement again about moving. So
I like moving. I don't mind packing up my stuff and then unpacking and kind of like organizing. Yeah, I love it. For me, nothing. I have nothing going on. This 2-week run of travel was enough for me. So yeah, I'm happy that I don't have anything on the horizon. Work is very, very busy for me right now. If you've been listening the last couple of weeks, it's been crazy, and that craziness has resulted in more work, but a chance to be visible and a lot of opportunity for me. So like I said at the beginning,
you've seen the uptick in work.
Oh yes. Oh goodness. And it was immediate. But I feel like, I feel really good about where I'm at right now. Like just getting, like, I feel there's a different level of motivation happening right now. So like, I don't know how I managed to go to New York for a few days and work, and then go to Atlanta for a few days and work, and then come home for a few days and work. Like we hosted an event on Cinco de Mayo. Like I'm fucking running on fumes. Like my gas light is on. There is no gas. Okay.
You know what? I did see you out on your story. And were you saying you didn't realize it was Cinco de Mayo? You just thought y'all was out partying?
It was fucking we got a baseball game May 5th. It's a baseball game. And then you wake up and it's like, Cinco de Mayo. And I'm like, fuck. It's a party day. It's not just Friday, May 5th at the baseball game. It's Cinco de Mayo. And so that means that this event is even up, to the 10th power because it's Cinco de Mayo. It's a beautiful day in Chicago, and we're at a baseball game. It's the Cubs. We in Wrigleyville. And then we're at Moe's Cantina, which is, the spot to be on Cinco de Mayo. So it was, it is, when I say I've been on a 2-week run, like of non-stop Monday to Sunday, Monday and back to Sunday, I'm not doing shit
So you
except
did New York,
mhm,
Atlanta,
and then
Chicago, Cinco de
which is
Mayo in
a
Chicago,
yep,
Vegas.
Vegas.
Whew.
So I'm going to be doing a lot of self-care for the rest of the month of May.
Pasha, would you date somebody that doesn't travel and is afraid to fly?
No, I don't think so.
How dare
Mm-mm.
you? You should be able to lower your standards. You can do road trips.
I know that's like that's ableist. It's ableist, but no, I'm not doing that.
Mm.
No, no, because I'm on a plane at the drop of a hat. But yeah, I'm gonna, I'm super locked into work right now, so I'm happy that I'm kind of home to, stay dialed in and kind of keep the momentum going. I'm gonna do a lot of self care. I need to do a true detox, like of food and liquor, and just get back on my smoothies, my salads. You just kind of eat what's around. So, I mean, you can roll your eyes, but I've been traveling for 2 weeks, girl. This is different. This is different. This is like burning the candle at both ends, literally. For real.
Mhm.
I used to think to myself, how did I work part time, cheer, do music, and get straight A's in high school and be up at 5:30 in the morning so I could be either at cheerleading practice during the summer or at cheerleading practice at 7 a.m. for school. And I just had all of these activities and I had all this fucking energy. I could not balance that many activities now at 36, but I feel like we're starting to ramp up and shit is getting fucking crazy. So we're in our relaxation and restoration era, and I mean it because I got to be able to continue to get this bag.
Okay, well, I see you.
we, need, we, we need to be healthy and full of energy to get this money.
Well, Godspeed to you, friends. I'm gonna keep you
Amen.
lifted
Thank you.
high,
Thank you. I need the prayers. My
and that's
life
all
is
I
crazy
got.
right now.
Mhm.
All right. Well, that brings this episode of the Same Difference podcast to a close.
This is episode 24. Thank y'all for listening. Follow me on TikTok. I don't really be on Instagram, but do what you do wherever you play. Follow me there, I guess. Thank you all for listening throughout our kind of technical difficulties. I don't know what is going on with Comcast. We got Comcast in Georgia and Comcast in Illinois,
Look,
and they playing it with us
and
on both ends. But we
Xfinity is on auto pay, so they gonna have to figure something out and fast.
okay. Say that.
Okay.
All right.
So,
But yeah, we'll see you all next week.
all
Bye.
right. See ya.